Grab your pencil. Here are 16 ideas to get you started drawing. I love art and drawing things in the world around me. I started drawing these objects in the late summer and kept going to fall. There's a little bit of everything. So here are some things I learned from doing these drawings. For donuts, I learned that bright colors are fun even when it's a graphite pencil drawing. It's a great challenge to try and shade the different colors with a pencil. For strawberries, I learned that I have to be so patient with the details. There are so many seeds on a strawberry, but it's worth it to patiently draw them in to get that realistic look of a strawberry. For Halloween cupcakes, I learned that adding a kind of gross element like the gummy eyeballs and brains can make the drawing experience more exciting. I drew this after I had drawn several plain cupcakes, and adding the gross looking gummies made it new and fun. For apples, I learned that really simple shapes can sometimes be the most difficult to draw. There isn't a lot of detail in the apple shape, so the details I added really needed to add to the drawing. Otherwise, it wasn't going to look like an apple. For orange pumpkins, I learned that drawing things that are in season influences how I make the drawing. Since I had actual pumpkins instead of just a picture reference, it influenced how I drew the picture. For Circus Peanuts candy, I learned that nostalgia can be a really great area of inspiration for drawings. This is a really old-fashioned candy that I had as a kid during the holidays. It brought back so many wonderful memories. For candy corn, I learned that arranging mini candy pieces can make the drawing more interesting. I really wasn't sure how I would draw this because it's such a classic candy and also a very simple shape. But once I added more pieces and arranged it how I liked, this instantly was one of my favorite drawings. For bubblegum, I learned that the smell can influence my drawings and art. This bubblegum smell of these was so strong. At first it was delightful, and then it started to make me feel sick. So I think that's kind of interesting to think, like, could I draw something that gives people a sense of what the smell is? For lemons, I love lemons because I love the color yellow. So this was just me wanting to draw something yellow. For chamomile flowers, this was such a challenge. These flowers are so delicate and there are so many of them in a bunch. I took a small portion of the flower bouquet and worked on that. Sometimes the best way to draw something is to break it down into a smaller element. For saltwater taffy, I have always loved drawing that classic wrapped candy shape since I was a little kid. So this is a shape that I always practice with when I want to draw. For vanilla cupcakes, this was actually the first time I tried drawing cupcakes in a really long time. It's such a challenge to draw the wrapper and the whipped topping, so this was a first try drawing cupcakes. For French macarons, this was my least favorite drawing. I think these cookies are so beautiful, but they are my least favorite cookie. Also, the colors are really neutral. I wanted to practice drawing neutral colors, but I am a bright color girl. For white pumpkins, I drew this after I drew orange pumpkins, and I wanted more practice with this. Also, I found these much smaller pumpkins, so I could draw them, a couple of them together. I like this because I liked seeing how I improved from the first pumpkin drawing. For skulls, I learned that there are things that I need a lot more practice on. Skulls are definitely in that category. I think this is a decent first try, but I am excited to draw more skulls and get better at it. For chocolate cupcakes, this was fun because I had drawn the vanilla cupcakes. So now I had practice in and I could see where I improved, but I also had something new to try with drawing the flavor and the shape. That's all of my drawings here. I love sharing my passion for art and drawing. I hope this makes you want to start drawing too. Please subscribe to see more and let's draw together.